Hi, this is Mato. Welcome to my online chess lecture. In this video, I will show you a game between Sergey Karjakin and Vladimir Kramnik. This is a game from World Championship Candidates Tournament, played in Berlin in 2018. Sergey Karjakin had white pieces and he started with c4. Vladimir Kramnik played e6, knight to c3, d5, d4, queen's gambit, knight to f6, c takes on d5, the exchange variation, knight takes on d5, e4, knight takes on c3, b takes on c3, c5, rook to b1. Obviously, taking pawn on c5 is not recommended because of this continuation. Rook to b1, bishop to e7, white to move. In the same position, in the same tournament, Mamedyarov played against Kramnik, bishop to b5 check. Sergey Karjakin played knight to f3, and Kramnik castled kingside, white to move. The three most played moves in this position are bishop to d3, bishop to c4, and bishop to e2. Karjakin surprised his opponent by playing h4. This is kind of move that Alekhine would play in his time against weaker opponents. With this move, Karjakin is saying two things. First, I am not afraid of you, Kramnik, and second, I go for a full point. The game continued. C takes on d4, c takes on d4, knight to c6, h5, black to move, f5, since white in a castle, opening files make sense. Pawn takes pawn on f5, queen to a5 check. If pawn takes pawn on f5, bishop to c4 check. So we have queen to a5 check, bishop to d2, queen takes on f5. Well, my feeling is that I would rather have black pieces. White king seems to be a bit exposed. But maybe this is just an illusion. What do you think? Bishop to c3, h6. Another move that comes to mind is queen to e4. And then bishop would go to e2. Kramnik played h6, bishop to d3 attacking the queen, queen to g4 attacking the pawn on g2, king to f1. It is black to move. Perhaps b6 is not a bad move, taking care of the b pawn and maybe intending bishop to b7. Kramnik played e5. Believe it or not, this is a very bad move. From this point, the game goes downhill for Kramnik, believe it or not. Well, Karjakin played the best move. He didn't take the pawn. d5, attacking the knight, and white is standing better. e4. Moving the knight doesn't work. If knight to d8, knight takes on e5. So we have e4. D takes on c6, pawn takes knight, pawn takes pawn on f3, black to move. Rook takes on f3 was played. Maybe queen takes on f3 is a better move. But Kramnik didn't want to exchange queens. And even after queen takes on f3, white is still better. After queen takes, rook takes, king to e2. And white king is safer with queens off the board. Back to our game. So we have rook takes on f3, hoping for some complications. White to move. Karjakin played bishop to e2, pinning the rook. Another move that comes to mind is c takes on b7. Bishop can't take the pawn because the rook is defending the pawn. This is possible. Let's have a look what happens if c takes on b7. Then one line may go like this. Rook takes on f2 check. King takes on f2. Bishop to h4 check. Rook takes on h4. Queen takes rook check. King to e3. Queen to g5 check. King to d4. If you calculate this in your head, you must ask yourself, what is my king doing here in front of my army? Will my king survive? Yes, white is better. But like I said, it's difficult to see everything that is coming against the white king. So, Karjakin played a more practical move. Bishop to e2. And with this move, black is in trouble. Rook takes on f2 check. Other moves are even worse. For example, if pawn takes pawn on c6, then bishop takes on f3. And white is much better if, say, bishop to a6 check, king to e1, queen must move, then rook to g1, and white is winning. Even after rook to e8, queen to b3 check, and you can see that black is in trouble. Back to our game. So, since everything else was worse, the rook was sacrificed on f2, check. King takes on f2. Bishop to c5 check. King to f1. Queen to f4 check. Bishop to f3. B takes on c6. White to move. In this position, the master of defense played the best move. Bishop to e1. Why is this the best? Let's have a look. If instead, let's play a random move, then queen to e3, and after bishop to e1, bishop to h3 check, rook takes bishop, queen to g1 check, king to e2, queen to e3 check, king to f1, queen to g1 check, and the game would end up in a draw. Back to our game. After bishop to e1, queen to e3 does the work because of queen to b3 check, and after the queens are exchanged, white is easily winning. Back to our game. So we have bishop to e1, bishop to e6, bishop to h4, rook to f8, stepping away from the pin, king to h8, rook to c1 attacking the bishop, rook to f5 defending, rook to c3 defending the bishop on f3, rook to d5 attacking the queen. Well, this seems wrong. Let's take it back. Maybe most people would capture the pawn on a2. What else can black do? Well, Kramnik played rook to d5, sacrificing the exchange, but looks like he miscalculated. Bishop takes on d5, bishop takes on d5 check, rook to f3, queen to g4 check. Taking rook is not good, because then queen takes on f3, and it should be relatively easy for white to win from this position. Back to our game. Queen to g4 check, bishop to g3, bishop to d6, rook to h3. White king is safe. Kramnik's attack is dead. Look at this picture. White king has very good bodyguards around him. The game continued. Bishop to e7. This is like saying, pass, your move. Queen to e2. Bishop to e4. Queen to f2. a5. a4. c5. Rook to h1. Bishop to f6. Rook to e1. Bishop to c6. A bishop to d4. Then rook takes on e4. And after queen takes on e4, queen to e1. And white is winning. Bishop to c6 was played. Rook to e3. c4, queen to e2, queen takes on h5. What about c3? Then king goes to f2, and after that, queen takes on h5, rook takes on f6, queen takes queen, king takes queen, pawn takes rook, rook takes on c3, and white is easily winning. Back to our game. So we have queen takes on h5, queen takes on c4, attacking the bishop, bishop to d7, white played a move and black resigned. And the move is rook to d3, Kramnik resigned, attack failed, and he is worse off materially. He was probably tired from a marathon game which he played against Grishchuk a day earlier. That game went for 91 moves, and Kramnik lost that game too. Not a lucky tournament for Kramnik. What do you think of this game? And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I wish you good luck with your chess, and bye for now.